cannot imagine Dal Lake without houseboats. We cannot imagine Kashmir without houseboats. We cannot imagine Kashmir tourism without houseboats. Houseboat has been the foundation of tourism in Kashmir. They are putting every resource in to save this culture, to save this style of life where people live inside the lake or on the banks of the lake. Dal Lake is famous because of its life and the life inside the lake, the culture inside the lake that has thrived for centuries. My name is Yaseen Tuman and I'm a Hanji. And when you say Hanji, Hanji means lake, river or water. I have lived my life so far, 40 years of life. I have lived around the lakes, especially in the Green Lake, and my life is part of lake. My earning is lake. I am the lake. There have been changes, but I think what I have witnessed over the last 30-35 years, there haven't been a lot of destruction, as they call it, as they project it. Dal Lake is very much alive and it is very much full of life. And yes, there have been changes, some peripheral changes, and we will have to look into that. I think first of all we have to understand the fame of the Dal Lake, the fame for which right now the governments and the people have started this huge hue and cry, and a lot of money is being poured into the lake or into the administration. Dal Lake is famous because of its life and the life inside the lake, the culture inside the lake that has thrived for centuries. Houseboats are an intrinsic part of this culture. Dal Lake earned its fame in Western European travelogues for more than 100 years, and the point of focus has been houseboats. And houseboat is something which is very unique to Kashmir. Houseboat is a symposium of Kashmiri artisan and his skills. Houseboat is life for a Hanji. It is not a mere means of income. So Dal Lake without houseboats, I think, is very blank. And over the years, the projection of houseboats as a major cause of pollution, etc., which is actually, if you go by the reports of Lakes and Waterways itself or IIT Roorkee, houseboats contribute a microscopic, only if they have business, a microscopic amount of pollution to the lake. And again, if we go back into the last 18 years, there have been 23 orders from Honorable High Court regarding asking the government to find and fund a solution for the sanitation of houseboats. Now there are many things, if you look into the history of the department, the institution which was created to safeguard the lake, I have largely witnessed that the same department became a tool of annihilation for Hanjis, or you may call the inhabitants of the lake, including the houseboats. We cannot imagine Dal Lake without houseboats. We cannot imagine Kashmir without houseboats. We cannot imagine Kashmir tourism without houseboats. Houseboat has been the foundation of tourism in Kashmir. This is a very interesting question because we always like to pass the buck, but I think so far as my understanding, which comes from traveling around the world, understanding different places in Europe where habitations are thriving around the lakes, rivers and the sea, I think and I understand that I think we can largely blame the government, because sanitation as such is still a distant dream in India, And so far as the lake, Dal Lake is concerned, and the other lakes of Kashmir are concerned, or River Jhelum is concerned, we still see a tremendous amount of sewer drains pouring into lake, and most of them, especially for Dal Lake, have been added in the last 30 years only. So I think the government has failed in doing their bit, which is like arresting the sewer flowing into the lake, and then the sanitation of the people, of the Hanjis living inside the lake, has also been ignored. And as of now, the government the planners are trying to disenfranchise the Hanjis from their lake, just citing the pollution problem. Nature had its own remedies, and so far as I have witnessed, our ancestors and all the others living along the peripheries or within the lake, we have throttled the lake. The main tributaries flowing fresh water into Dal Lake or Nagin Lake have been throttled. I think the first and the foremost important thing is to restore them, and then we will definitely, the second thing is arresting all the sewer, which is like probably 70%, and non-dull leveler kind of contribution towards the lake. We have to arrest that, and we will have to find a balance of we will have to find the carrying capacity, like we have hamlets inside the lake, yes, but this is a culture that we have to, you have to see places like Githon, places like Norway. They are putting every resource in to save this culture, to save this style of life where people live inside the lake or on the banks of the lake.